So in order to understand what a model is and what Maharaja was doing, you need to understand the axiomatic structure of mathematics. And the axiomatic structure of mathematics consists of 4 parts, mainly 4 parts. There's other parts, but they're not as significant as these. Undefined terms, axioms, theorems, and proofs. And I'm going to explain what those are. And then there's defined terms and things like that. But these are the basis. So the undefined terms are objects of study. And you might think, well, why are you not going to define them? You know, how do you know what you're talking about? Well, if you want to define something, you know, suppose you want to define what a line is. And then you say, well, a line is a collection of points and it goes on forever. And it's a straight line is flat or straight. And then somebody says, well, what does straight mean? And you say, well, it's like a line. And then you're back where you started. So if you think about defining any word in English or any language, you have to use some other words. And then somebody could ask, well, what are those words? How do you define those words? And then you go and define those words. And pretty soon you discover inevitably you're using some of the words you've already defined or you've already tried to define. So it's circular. And so mathematicians have realized that what they should do is just say, okay, these are the things we're going to talk about. We're not going to define them. And we're going to talk about them. Now, in fact, when mathematicians have undefined terms, they always have something in the back of their mind. This is like a dot, or this is like an edge, or something. So they have something in the back of their mind, but they won't define them because they get in trouble. And then there's the idea of axioms. And axioms are sometimes called postulates. And an axiom is a rule that governs the behavior of the undefined terms. So in geometry, you know, we had points and lines, and 2 points determine a line. And that's an axiom that says how these things behave. If you have 2 points, you have a straight line. If you have a straight line, you have points on the line. And the rules tell you how the undefined terms behave. And they are essential. They're just absolutely essential. And then, you know, if that's all there was to a theory of mathematics, it wouldn't be very interesting. But then you have theorems, and these are things that are true about the undefined terms. So a theorem is true. Mathematicians regard it as true, and that has to be qualified, but I'm not going to get into that today. So anyway, mathematicians say, well, these are true. And how do they know they're true? They have a proof. And a proof is a logical justification for a theorem through steps. And the logic is human logic.